Hey, friend, Church D coming at you once again. Thank you for tuning into What Does It Take to Win? I know last time I said I wasn't going to keep you very long, and I ended up keeping you longer than anticipated. I'm not going to do that this time, hopefully. But I have some pretty good information for this episode, so we can jump right to it. But before things get started, I just want to say if you would like to purchase my music, I put out an EP at the end of June by the name of The Big Reveal. You can just search me on Google or your favorite streaming platform. It's available on all outlets by the name of The Big Reveal. So if you have Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, YouTube, you name it, wherever you get your music, wherever you stream or download it from, I'm there. So just type in Church D and you'll find me. Prior to that, back in March of 2020, I put out a single by the name of The Vision. That's also available on all streaming and digital outlets. And in May 2019, the very first project I put out was The Cactus Bare Minimum 2.0. And you can also grab that. It's available on all digital outlets. So pretty much if you just search my name, Church D, that's Church, D-E-E, you'll be able to find my music and purchase it. That way I can collect my coins. If not, you can just click the link in the bio and it'll take you to my website and we'll go from there. So I won't spend too much more time talking about that and promoting myself, but I just had to put that in there. So here we go. Let's get started with this topic. Today we'll be talking about life and the challenges that we deal with. So that's why this episode is entitled Life Sucks. Life doesn't have to suck for everybody, but I feel that we all get to a point in our lives in which things just don't go as planned. And we may have that moment where we say, okay, this sucks or life sucks. So I'm just going to talk with you and explain how I dealt with it in the past and how I deal with it when it comes up again, because it's not just something that happens once and then never happens again. This is like a reoccurring feeling that, most individuals get, especially if you're into entrepreneurship and starting your own business. And if you're a go-getter, you get to the point where you're kind of burnt out and you're like, okay, this just sucks. I need to get away from everybody. So yeah, I'll just tell you how I deal with it. I've listed 3 points. We're going to keep it short and sweet. The first point is to acknowledge that it sucks. You got to face the facts sometimes. Well, not sometimes, all the time. The second point is to ask yourself some questions. Believe it or not, asking questions will lead you to the right answer. And the third point is to realign. This is the actions and the steps you'll take to fix your situation. So let's start from the top. The first point is to acknowledge that your life sucks. Hey, let's face the facts. If we can't acknowledge that we have an issue, then we can't fix the issue. Like, let's think of it like a car. So say you have this brand new car, your favorite brand, I don't know, a foreign car, okay? And you're driving it around town, you're loving it, and then all of a sudden the check engine light comes on. And you ignore that check engine light. You're like, nope, I don't see that check engine light on because my car is beautiful on the outside. And it's riding kind of okay. It's not doing like it was when you first picked it up. You're noticing a difference in it, and you're just ignoring the check engine light. And then in the future, it's going to lead to other issues. And eventually you won't be able to drive the car because you can't get it registered. All because the check engine light is on. And now it could be a simple fix. It could be something as basic as an oxygen sensor. You just pop it out and replace it, and then boom, you're able to get your inspection sticker. Simple, right? Okay, well, let's look at life. Sometimes we all get to a point where it feels like we're just plateauing and nothing's moving forward, especially in business. Like, I know when I first started my production company, or even like with just trying to be a musician, but we'll stick to the production company thing. When I first started, it was like officially, I was at about 6-7 years ago. And I didn't have clients at the time. So I would just say to myself, okay, if I could get like maybe 2 or 3 clients, I'll be doing okay. And I'd go to the studio, and I think I talked about this in previous episodes. I'd go to the studio and just sit there and I'd try to reach out to people, send emails, do different ads and whatnot. And people just did not want to work with me. And I don't think it was anything that I did, but I was just brand new and they didn't really know about me like that. And that was discouraging, I had a decent amount of gear. It wasn't like everything was top level. It was just I had a decent amount to get the job done. And I would just be sitting there with all my gear like, okay, life sucks. I don't have any clients. I'm just at this standstill right now. When's it going to get better? So I had to keep it real with myself and say, yeah, life sucks right now. But that's not going to be my ending. It's going to get better. I'm going to do something about it. So that actually kind of leads me to my next point of asking yourself some questions. So first, when I acknowledge that, yeah, life right now isn't that great, things aren't going as I planned them, I ask myself, okay, well, what caused this? Why does it suck? Does it actually suck, or am I being overly dramatic? Can it be fixed? Can I do it on my own? Who can help me? Do I need to get away? These are some of the questions you can ask yourself. So let's just go down the list, starting with what caused this. Okay, so in my case, what caused my life to suck as it pertained to me not having clients and being a producer? Well, I just answered it. I didn't have clients. Okay, cool. That's simple enough. Um, that's what caused it. Why does it suck? Same answer. Because I don't have clients and I'm not making money. Okay, so that's a little bit more detailed. Not too much more, but you get what I'm saying. Does it actually suck? So at that time, it didn't actually suck. I was just feeling down because I was in the beginning stages and things weren't going how I planned them, like based off of what I would see, online or on TV or whatever. Like, oh yeah, you just start your business and then you're rich and you're flourishing. That's not the case. Actually, when you start businesses, you fail. It's more likely that you would end up with a loss before things get better. Okay. That was a little bit of a rant, but don't I always rant on these podcasts? Deal with it. So the next question I would ask myself would be, can it be fixed? And I'd say 90% of the time, 99% of the time, it absolutely can be fixed. You just have to sit back and strategize, figure out, okay, how can I fix it? Can I do it on my own? In some situations, yes, you can do it on your own. Sometimes you need help. I, for the longest time, would refuse help. I'm telling on myself. I would just think, yeah, I can do everything by myself, and I'd be burnt out. I would do a lot of things by myself, but it was like, man, this is too much for me. Like, I'm stressed out now. Like, I'm pulling my hair out. Wet hair, right? uh, but yeah, ask for help. See if you can do it on your own. Who can help me is another question you can ask. Sometimes you can receive help within your circle. Sometimes you have to reach out for more help. Sometimes it's just right under your thumb, and you never know. Like, somebody you talk to every day could very well have the answers that you're looking for. This goes back to when I was trying to set up my studio. I remember working at a specific company in corporate America, of course. And I would go to work every morning and I would just talk to God. I'd be like, yo, God, man, can you just do something new in my life? Like, I want to do this. Like, I want to be a producer. I want to, run a recording studio. And it was like a week or two later, I get a text out the blue saying, hey, I want to do this for you. I want to help you set this up. And we went from there and things were set up so nicely. And I was like, wow, I've known this person like my entire life, and they just contacted me at this moment and said, hey, I can help you do this. Didn't even share the vision with them. They sort of just, linked up and said, yo, I'm going to help you do this and get you set up and have things moving. And they totally did. And I'm forever grateful for that. So don't count out people who are in your circle and folks that you've known forever. They might have the tools. They might have the answers to help you overcome this patch that sucks at the moment. Another good question, and this I'll just leave it as the final question I would ask myself, is do I need to get away? Sometimes we feel really overwhelmed with the work that we're doing, especially entrepreneurs and creatives. If you're into producing music, writing songs, etc., or even if you're like a painter, any capacity in which you can be creative, if you're a chef and you're trying to create new recipes. Sometimes we get overwhelmed and we simply just need vacations. And that's how we get our muse back. So ask yourself, do I need to get away? It doesn't necessarily have to be, oh, let me go on a trip, let me head to an island, or let me go far away, like 1,000 miles away and just turn my phone off. You can do that. I think Bill Gates does something like that. Maybe 2 weeks out the year, he goes to a secluded island or something, shuts his phone off and doesn't talk to anybody. And then he gets new ideas for Microsoft. I think he does that. I'd have to double check. You can fact check that if you want, and let me know if that's the right person I'm thinking of. But you don't necessarily have to do that. You can take a quick weekend trip, like maybe 1-2 days. Go maybe an hour outside of where you live. Just get like a hotel room or an Airbnb. Not sure if you can do that right now during the pandemic, but yeah, life is kind of rough. See, life sucks. See, look at the plug. Let me get back on topic. I don't think you can do that right now during the pandemic, but let's say we weren't living in the pandemic or this is post pandemic and you could go out, just an hour away, hour and a half away, and just take some time to yourself and, recuperate. And this is actually a good segue into my third and final point. And I think this is the most important. Yeah, I could say it's the most important. And it's to realign. By getting away, by taking a step back, by taking a break from life, and I'm not saying that to tell you to neglect your responsibilities because they're always going to be there. Be sure to handle your responsibilities, but sometimes you need to take a step back and take a break to realign and to fix what you can. And I believe, like I said, in most cases, you're capable of fixing everything. As long as somebody else isn't involved, because then that becomes complicated. Like, let's say you two did a business deal and you're trying to fix it. Well, no, that's not going to work. The two of you guys would have to fix it. But yeah, back to what I was saying. You just need to refocus your energy and update your plans. You need to learn to evolve. For example, like I had touched upon this pandemic and getting away briefly. We're all forced to transition our businesses to an online model of some sort during this pandemic. So whether you're a teacher, especially if you're a teacher or a professor at a college, you're now forced to do online learning with your students. Music producers and mix engineers and mastering engineers, we have to do things remotely. Some of us are still able to go to the studio, but the bulk of us, we have to do things remotely. So we're building relationships online and trying to gain more clients that way instead of face-to-face conversations, which works out for a lot of mix engineers and mastering engineers, by the way, because like we tend to just be hermits and we're not really people persons like that. I might be telling on myself, but hey, I mean, I'm pretty friendly. It's just I'm kind of introverted at times. But you know what? I wouldn't even say I'm introverted. I'm just selective. Uh, this isn't even about me. Let me get back to what I was talking about. Yes, realign. You don't have to do things the same way. You can just because things didn't work out the way you had planned for it to work out doesn't mean it's necessarily over. You just need to, keyword realign and figure out how to make it happen. Let's say you wanted to make a very expensive purchase on a specific date. Okay. And FYI, I am not one to promote expensive purchases. If you can find a deal, go for that. But hey, sometimes we like to treat ourselves. Nothing wrong with that. Let's say you wanted to make an expensive purchase on a specific date and it didn't quite happen, but you still want the expensive thing. You don't have to throw in the towel and say, well, I didn't get it by this time, so it's over. I give up. I'm never going to get it. No, life still goes on. Realign and figure out how you can get it the next go around. And this also applies to relationships. As I mentioned earlier on, I wanted a specific number of clients when I first started my business, and I didn't get them right away. So I didn't throw in the towel and say, okay, that's it. I'm done with producing. I suck, or I'm done with being a musician. This is a wrap. Some people do that, and they're not living the life they should be living right now. I just realigned. I said, okay, well, I wanted to have X amount of clients by this time. I didn't quite get it, but it's not over. Let me just continue pushing. Let me try a new strategy. Let me look up ways to gain more clients while being introverted, or being selective. And it worked out over the years. And I'm still doing that. Like, it's not over. I didn't just go out and get the clients that I have now and say, okay, well, I've done my part. Now I can just lay back and chill. No, times are changing. Things are moving fast. So I'm trying to stay on top of it myself and figure out what I can do in the future to stay current and even be slightly ahead of the game. So let's just give a quick recap on what to do when your life sucks. The first point is to acknowledge that it sucks. You got to face the facts. If you don't acknowledge it, don't acknowledge that there's an issue, then you can't fix the issue. The second point is to ask yourself some questions. What caused it? Why does it suck? Does it actually suck? Etc. When you ask yourself questions, you're pretty much solving the problem, believe it or not, because it's like you're addressing the problem. You've already made steps towards solving it. And the final point is to realign. Fix what you're capable of fixing and continue to evolve with the times. Nothing's going to stay the same. Just because you didn't get it when you had planned to get it doesn't mean it's over. You can still get it. And it will be just as good, if not even better. So don't throw in the towel. It's going to be just all right. I know life may suck sometimes, but it's not going to stay that way. It's going to get better. Thank you for all of your time today. Thanks for tuning into this podcast. I hope it blessed you. I hope it encouraged you. I hope it inspired you. Hey, if you like it, be sure to click the share button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can find me on YouTube at Church D. Check out my website. I'll put the link in the description below. And until next time, thanks for tuning in, friends.